Okay, we're going to start the meeting with the pledge of flag. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Samantha, we take roll.
David Schreckengass.
Here.
Lyman Seiler.
Here.
Robert Dowdy. Here. Diane Fine. Here. Danny Garbrick.
Here.
Helen Imes is absent. Judy Carstetter.
Here.
Christopher Scout.
Here. Okay. Let's jump right into the guests. We're going to leave Marie and Deb go first.
I think you know me, Marie. Everybody knows Marie. This is Debbie Stiles, and we are former members of the Loganton Community Club. But we dissolved that this week because there's been nobody joining. We're getting older, so we just we call it an end this week, and we're divvying out all our money. And so what we're here to show you is the new banners for Loganton. We bought those too. Our community club paid for those. So this is your new banners that will be going up. Brackets and all, they send everything.
I love that. That's beautiful.
There's going to be 5. There's going to be at each and also down here at the bank.
Cool.
So, yeah, we got 5.
I'm going to get a picture of you for the
You
website.
don't have to.
For the website.
Dad, move your head.
Yeah, what's the matter with you? Okay, you ready? Okay, thank you.
I'll take one of those too.
What's that?
I'll take a photo.
Oh. I thought you wanted the banner.
No, well, I'll take one of those. Sure, why not? Thank you.
If you remember, the old ones were cloth.
Yes.
More like cloth. This is a heavy, I don't know,
Vinyl.
vinyl rubber, whatever, yeah, so it should last longer. So we have that, and
then also, we are going to present a check for $1,500 that we wanted the borough to put toward the park. If that comes to, fruition. If not, then our request would be that it would go to Christmas decorations.
yeah, it's specified if the park falls through, then that has to go toward more Christmas decorations, okay? And give it to my aunt. Yeah, give me this too. Okay.
Thank you very much, ladies. Okay. Let's keep going with the guests. Go right down the line. Pat, do you have anything? You guys have anything? Yes, go ahead.
First off, not everybody knows who I am, but my name's Bonnie Showers.
Okay.
We're down here at Main Street since. Worked there for almost 5 years. We have about 13 people in there that have stuff on the sign. I came to about 2 meetings, and I understand there was issues with giving out Ashley's stuff number, which honestly didn't really pertain to me, so I didn't think much about it. Somebody came into the store a couple weeks ago asking if I gave the telephone number. I said, yeah, number 2. I don't even have it. Then on the way out the door, I hear, oh, she is gone. That pissed me off. Because number 1, those people that are on consignment, we tell them, when you put your stuff in this store, your name and number goes in that book. You do not give it out. That makes us look like liars. I wasn't even involved in this whole thing. But now I am. And I am very angry. Because that woman who owns that store is probably one of the most private people I know. She gives nothing out. But also, she's the kindest person I know. Anything that goes in this valley, bar company, charter school, bull run school, doesn't matter. That woman is giving. She always, always gives. But this freaking council, every time I turn around, it pick, 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 pick. And I am freaking fed up with it. And the fact that I was pulled into this shit pisses me off. And I saw my attorney last week for something else, but while I was there, I want you people to know, if my name, her name, that store, or anybody associated with that store gets involved with that, you're going to see a side of me you wish you didn't see.
Any questions?
Speaking of that, have you guys come to a decision?
Yeah, we met with Helen, and we have a statement to make that actually, this is kind of addressed to you or whatever. After President Seiler and Mayor Schreckengast having met with Helen in mid-September and contacting our solicitor, we agree that information collected for water purposes from any source should not be shared elsewhere. However, keeping in mind that Helen did not obtain the phone number in question from borough records or water database, we have cautioned her to be careful along these lines in the future, regardless of where the number was gotten. When a council member does something privately outside of borough records, we have less control of such. And our solicitor, as our solicitor mentioned, they do have a life outside of being a council member. Again, although Helen did not use borough records, we commend her for publicly apologizing to you, Ashley, in the July 13th council meeting, and applaud you, Ashley, for having accepted her apology.
That's okay, my lawyer and I will contact the ethics borough, or the ethics committee tomorrow, and I'll have the ethics board start an investigation into the borough.
Because I believe she said that she did get it from the borough.
She did, and your solicitor sat right there and said it's illegal and it's on video.
How come?
And how come only
this
two of you
wasn't
guys did?
discussed with all of us?
It was
When was it discussed with council members?
about,
You had said we were gonna have a discussion about it. When did a discussion go down? This is the first I've known about this.
when was
Mid-September, I don't know, yeah, actually.
When you told us at the last meeting though that, like, it was right around the time, so beginning of September, and it's now mid-September. Like, it's not okay, and
I just wanna know, shouldn't have other council members known about this? That's a transparency thing again. We should have known about it.
So who did have a meeting? Was the three of you?
Yeah, I didn't know, you're looking at me, I didn't know, well, I thought
Well, we
was,
all sit on council,
Yeah.
Dave, and I've had this argument 100 times.
I didn't,
Anything that goes along with council should be discussed with us. Transparency, what it's all about.
I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought it was just a matter of the leadership meeting to discuss what we kind of chided.
Okay, well then, the rest of us don't matter.
If you want to have another meeting,
No, it's fine.
but it's fine with me. I just thought I was doing the right thing. I didn't.
Well, I'm glad you guys discussed it, but it would have been nice if the rest of us had known that happened.
Well, let's have another meeting. I'm not trying to hide anything. I just.
We don't have to have another meeting, you just told us what was done, okay, it was handled. I'm shocked to find out it happened because none of us, did you know about it?
I did, but
Bobby, did you know?
I think now might be a good time to address the handbook or the rules or the guidance where that was asked also if there is consequences with council member and their conduct.
Well, we gotta have transparency before we do all that. We don't have.
I thought the offense was against whether she used council records to do it, and
And
I,
That I
She stated
don't
in that
know.
meeting that she got it
and
from
so
water.
I just thought that,
When did she
since,
say she got it from water?
I don't know.
since I'm the mayor and Myron's the president, we talked to her and told her to be careful.
I'm glad you did. I'm just saying it'd be nice of you to,
Well, I'm
transparent
telling you,
to
I
everybody
know I
else.
did the right thing, but you can, say what you wish. She didn't use council records, she didn't use borough records.
okay.
Where did you get your number?
But there's no reason why you couldn't have sent an email out that it was handled.
Yeah, I guess looking back over it, hindsight's 20/20, if you think that we can still have another meeting,
There's no need to have another meeting, you just said what the outcome was. I'm just saying, transparency, let the other council members know what's going on.
Why didn't you let the council members vote?
I didn't realize it, can't
Okay.
we do it again?
Let's
I
move
didn't-
on.
We can do it again and bring it up, leave everyone vote on what they wanna do.
Yeah.
If that's what you wanna do.
We can do it right here now. I thought it would have been as more of a private matter that we chided her for, that she didn't use the borough records to get the number. So I don't even know for sure how the borough's involved in it. If she did something wrong with the number that she got elsewhere, I thought we kind of.
I've asked everybody I know who has my number. My number's unlisted. And I've asked everybody I know.
Well, she didn't get it
And
from the
they
borough
said
records.
no.
If she says she didn't, I can't twist her arm.
So I should get the people that
Do you
have
have
my
the video
phone
from
number
that-
to
that
come in
meeting?
here next borough meeting and all one by one
Can
say
you send
they
it to the
didn't
council
give
from there?
her
She said she got it from
my
there.
phone number. Most of them don't even know her.
Well, I can't help that, actually. I don't know where she got the number, and that's not my problem with it. She just, I'm
It is your
concerned,
problem because you said on this
I'm
council
concerned
as
that she
mayor.
didn't use the borough records. And if she did use the borough records, she would be allowed to use them, the solicitor said. If she used them to set up a water appointment, it would be legal for her to
Yeah, that's
look.
fine, and she
yeah.
did call to let me know that
But
Kenny was
apparently
putting in a new meter.
something else was
That's
done,
fine.
and I can't help that. All I'm concerned is that the borough did not have to do anything wrong.
Well, the other thing is too, I think it's totally wrong that she's going around trying to find somebody else to point the finger at. That is totally wrong.
She's not
I
there.
don't even have her telephone number, and for her to even come in and ask me if I gave it to her, and then accuse Dawn of doing it, it was no maybe, it was, well, then Dawn did it. That's wrong.
Well, what's the council going to do to her? Well, we don't
How
know.
about you vote to see if you want her to still represent the council, because you can vote her out.
What she did wasn't representing the council. She, something to do with an ornament in the yard or something, and I don't see why, I don't
It's
see.
not,
I think we dropped the ball. When it was first brought to our attention, we should have taken care of our constituents. We should have asked questions and dealt with it. We got busy, dropped the ball, it went the second time. Now the ball got dropped, it didn't even go to council. As far as it is, it's handled. If they want to do something beyond that, that's up to them, I'm gonna say. We need to move on.
as I said, it's nothing against her personally, because I don't know her personally. I know her as Councilwoman Helen. And my point in this whole thing is, if you do something wrong, I don't care if it was Diane that did it, or you did it, or Chris did it. It is the point that when somebody does something wrong, they are supposed to be held accountable. And we are the people that voted you in. We trusted you, which is why we voted you in.
Yeah, actually, how can we do something to her that we have no power over what she does in her private life? And if you think we can just dismiss her from council because of something that she did privately, it's going to be pretty tough because
Absolutely you can, because I'm telling you, I can get the people in here who have my phone number.
you think the council can reprimand her for something she does
Well, do
right?
you want to tell me, are you gonna believe that a hundred people in here that have my number, as far as like my family and my friends in the hospital, they all come in here and say, we didn't give Ashley's number to Helen? 99% of the people that have my number do not know her anyway. Or are you gonna believe one
She didn't
person?
say where she got it.
Why was she going around town asking? Bonnie saying that just now, it's not the first time I've heard
I
it.
don't know why Helen.
Then that means she got it from the borough records and she's not being honest with
I
you.
represent the council. I don't know what Helen does privately.
You guys, you three are always together.
Come on, Ashley. Now, just because we're together doesn't mean I know her business.
No, that's just coming back around to where you threatened me last meeting. That's unbecoming of a person of your position.
Yeah. Well,
That's where, as of tomorrow, if you do not resign tonight, I'm contacting the ethics board and I will be contacting the lawyer.
You're playing semantics, Dave. Just because she didn't get it from borough records doesn't mean she didn't get it from borough employees.
well, I
And
don't know.
you
That's
two
semantics.
are ultimately responsible for the board and anything that happens on the board. And you just admitted that it was just you two meeting with Helen. Your mission statement on the borough website talks about transparency. It talks about ensuring efficiency, public safety, and service to serve all the residents of the borough. You are not serving the residents of the borough, you are serving yourselves.
What do you want me to do? What do you want us to do?
I want you two and Helen to resign and get out and let people to come in that will fix this problem, because it's been for the past months. I've gone through the meeting minutes where it's been brought up, we'll vote on it, we gotta set up a meeting for it, we gotta set up a meeting. You keep pushing it back. You do not show any responsibility. You hope people just turn around and let it drop.
You even asked me to let it go so you can brush it under the rug.
With the last meeting, Myron said, we'll set up a meeting. He didn't say how many were involved, and so I figured I would do what was supposed to be done.
Collectively working together, not as a group of three.
Did you also stop to ask your borough members how they felt
If that's
about that?
true, I apologize for it. Let's have a meeting. I thought I did the right
I'm
thing.
contacting ethics in the morning.
Why don't you ask
I'm
your
done.
borough council members how they feel?
You've lost all respect and lost the trust that the community has in you.
Huh.
And don't sit there and do that hot and laughing.
This issue needs to be dealt with in executive session. That's what we need.
I did check with the solicitor, and I don't think it deserves an executive session. I don't think it meets the requirements for being, it's not a problem with an employee.
Okay.
And I would have liked to done it in an executive session, but the solicitor didn't think we should.
Okay.
And on that same note, is that threats marked down in those meeting minutes? Because I have it recorded on my phone,
What's that report?
where you told me I better stop while I was ahead.
Well, yeah, what's wrong with that? I just told you should stop while you're ahead.
No, that's deemed a threat.
It's deemed an open-ended threat. I work in state college and I even had a patient come in and ask me about it. Patient that's not associated with Loganton but knows I happen to live in Loganton.
And that's unbecoming of somebody that's supposed to be a leader, not only for the community, but supposedly for a church.
I don't see what my personal life has. What does my church life have to do with? I've tried to do everything right, and
No, you don't. You're trying to push people out of the church too.
okay.
You're showing that you think of yourself.
That's the way I've been for 50 years.
No, you weren't like this when I first met you and I first moved up here, because you know how much
I just
love
don't
your
understand
family.
how I have thought I've done everything right, and you're telling me that I should resign, and after I don't have any idea I've done anything wrong.
The transparency, the working together, none of it works anymore. You, Myron, and Helen have been the same clique that does all the voting, that does all of the planning.
The only thing we were planning was the park. It's the only thing that us three
Keep
work
interrupting
together
me, you're
on.
showing your true values. I'm stating as a resident that I've lost all faith in you three. It's supposed to be transparency, it's supposed to be working together. It's your mission statement on your website.
Did you,
It
seriously,
needs to be the whole council if you're working together, not just three.
we're supposed to be a community. It's not supposed to be the Dave, Myron, and Helen show. This is a community. These people ran because they wanted to help their community. You have not once asked input from anybody on this borough council. Why don't you ask them, why don't you work together? Because they may say, oh, actually, you're in the wrong. Or maybe you're in the wrong. Why don't you ask them how they feel? Because if you ever look at their faces, every one of them, no matter who it is, when we leave these meetings, they're always disgusted. Why don't you ask them how they feel?
How do you feel?
Yeah.
I feel a lot of ways on a lot of different issues. And I've been expressing from day one on these committees, it's a joke. I mean, you're not included. I have not once on any committee I've been supposedly a part of asked to do a thing. Not once. I've emailed, I have paper trails, I have asked. As far as the decorating committee with the banners, my 10-year-old granddaughter, we had 2 fundraisers last year. She raised over $2,000 for this borough for Christmas lights. I'm supposedly on the decorating committee. Last winter, Councilman Helen stood right here with her back against me, inviting Mr. Dowdy here to help hang the lights. Never said, Diane, would you like to ride around in the truck and hang the lights? I mean, you're not included. I understand what you're saying about a group. When you're on this council, you're basically volunteering your time. You're not doing this to be rich. I'm at a point in my life, my children are grown, I wanted to give to my community. It's impossible. You're not asked, you're not included, and you just feel kind of worthless. That's my 2 cents. And it's sad when you're ready, willing, and able, and it's not even an open-ended invite. So transparency, 0, in my opinion.
I said my opinion a couple of weeks ago. It makes me sick to my stomach to come in here, and I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed the night that you 2 attacked my mom. Said you didn't say stuff, Dave, you called her petty. And then you went home and looked at your notes and realized, oh yeah, we did say that to Marilyn. And you called her and apologized. And you called me and apologized to me.
I apologize.
Yeah, you called me, you called Janine.
I'm going to apologize to you.
You know, when I came onto this thing, I tackled the water. You both know that. And I've been kicked in the butt by it for doing it ever since.
Chris, I read a statement to your mom about all that stuff, and I thought, and I apologized to her right here in the council.
Dave, the bottom line is what should have happened when you guys said you never said that to her and all that, and you sat here and called her petty. We're held to a higher degree.
I apologize to her
It doesn't matter. It should have never happened. It made me sick, and I've been sick of it ever since. Mom got attacked online about she didn't get her way, so she pulled her property. That's not the truth.
I didn't know anything to do with that, Chris.
I know,
Yeah.
but you guys both know what I'm saying.
And the only promise I made to her, sitting at her kitchen table, was her parcel would be developed first. At no time did I tell her that if we didn't get the money, we would develop her land.
Well,
I don't
I
have
wasn't
the authority
there.
to say, where are we gonna get the money?
I wasn't there.
That's what I
so
tried to tell her.
I wasn't there, but I know that Janine and Mom said this was promised. Dave, you called and said, yeah, it was in your notes. But that, just the way this whole thing is run, I brought up transparency a dozen times. We have none. I will say that the night that Helen and us were getting into it, and I brought up about her talking to somebody at Scenic Ridge and saying she knew it was being done wrong, but she went ahead and did it anyway. And I brought it up the first time. Helen said, yeah, I had a discussion down there. And then the last time it was brought up, she said, that never happened. And I said, well, then you're saying that the person that said that lied? She said, yes. Well, it did happen. 3 people were down there for a half an hour and heard Helen say this was all being done wrong. But that's under the bridge now. Helen's not here, I can't defend her, but that's the facts. The facts are, you want to know how I feel about this council? It makes me sick. We're not doing things the way it should be done. There's no transparency. None. This is, how many times have I brought it up? Tonight's another example. You guys made decisions and did stuff, talked to a lawyer, and didn't even tell the rest of us. What are we sitting here
Why do
for?
we need to, Chris?
What are you sitting here for? You two should just run the whole show.
It was an executive thing. It didn't need.
Are we not executives? Are we not on a borough council and we all take care of all these people? That's what it's designed to do.
I thought that we should scold Helen for it, and even though she didn't take it from the borough records, I thought we did the right thing.
Well, then we shouldn't even have meetings because you two can handle it all.
I'm sorry, Chris.
I know you don't like the non-transparency thing, but we should be kept in the loop.
Danny,
I agree. I was here tonight, Diane volunteered to be on the committee. They told her they didn't need her.
which committee?
The one with the Christmas lights.
She is on that committee.
Yep. They didn't want her to begin with. Is that right?
Yeah, well, yeah. And when I say I can help, it's arranged when I'm working or not told of anything. And I mean, there's just no inclusion. It's sad to me when you are willing to give your time and donate that and be a part of. I don't know if it's a matter of control. I don't know. Dislike, I mean, we need to learn as adults to play nice on the playground. We're here to do a job. It's frustrating, that's all.
Diane, the day we had that borough association dinner, you were supposed to come and help Helen and I. You did not show up.
I showed up
You did
before
not
planning.
show up that night to help either.
I
But
did
yet
not
you
come to
want
that
to do
dinner.
everything to help.
Do you want to
but
know
don't
why I
show
did
up.
not go to that dinner? Because that dinner was on a Tuesday night,
Yeah.
I do believe. Thursday before was a council meeting. I'm gonna be honest here, you're not gonna like my transparency. Chris has to exit that door because of his wheelchair and being handicapped. That was a very heated meeting in April. I'm getting emotional because I am livid. So I'll be honest. When we walked out this back door as council members, there was a powwow. There was a powwow from people that I once held high. The comments were, how'd you like that meeting? How about that? Wasn't that vote for me, vote for me, vote for me? an exact quote. It had to do with Mr. Scaff speaking his mind. Everybody was out there talking about him. I was livid because he's an earshot out of an earshot away. And that is what is discussed when the meeting adjourns. I did not want to be associated with any of you. If that's how you conduct yourself, I am not going to put on a front and represent this community at a borough dinner. It made me sick. That's why I didn't go.
Well, I didn't want to come like this, but after 50 years, I'm resigning. I can't work with a group like this. I've tried to do everything right. I at no time ever did anything that I thought I was doing wrong, and I really, it's hard for me. But I'm walking out, and I just, it's been on my mind a lot. I've tried to do right, and I don't understand this corner back here, especially you're inferring my church connections and all these things. I can't understand it. My health and everything is too important. I can't take it any longer. And so I appreciate working with everybody. It's 50 years down the drain, but I'm not in any way admitting that I've done anything wrong. I sure would hope that when it's all said and done, that they don't say, well, he couldn't because he knows he did wrong. I can't take this slander and everything. I've always tried to do what was right. And all through this park thing, I never thought that I was doing anything wrong. And I don't understand all of Diane's complaints, and the rest of it, not just her, but if somebody else maybe can get along better with everybody. I thought I had a lot to offer, but apparently I don't have that much to offer, and I'll tender a written resignation. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Mayor Schreckengaus.
Bobby?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge.
I feel a little bit like I can't take all this controversy one way or another. And I'm thinking like Dave, I'm going to resign too. I let her be. I just can't take all this fighting that going on. It wasn't this way. I don't remember it ever being this way. I've been on council for a long time. And I don't need to go home and not be able to sleep because of all this controversy, one way or another. I don't need it. I don't need the money, the small amount of money I get for being on council. And I have enough to deal with. I'm done. That's all I got to say. Somebody else can run it.
Okay. Any other guests? Come back here, want to talk.
I have a couple questions regarding the surveys.
Okay.
I'm not accusing anybody of doing anything wrong. They weren't numbered. How are we to be sure that nobody made copies to put what they wanted?
We discussed that tonight. We stuffed them. There is no assurance that did not happen.
Okay. And my last question, I've heard that they left the building. Like they were here and they left. That somebody took them home.
And then they were brought right back and put in there and locked up.
Can I ask why they left?
Because we were going to organize them and have everything ready, but Sam took care of it.
Okay.
It's the only reason they left. And we will count them. We have not even counted them. No one has touched them other than Sam since. So we will count them here when we get down to the park.
Right, I was just gonna wait for that point, but since
Okay.
you were asking.
Okay.
I typically just sit back here and mind my P's and Q's and listen. I'm to the point, this has turned into a circus up here. It truly has. I'm not accusing any one person. You know, everybody's supposed to work together. When you're elected to any position, in a public position, you're held to a higher professional standard. The decorum that goes on up here with people yelling back and forth, that's not professional. I'm just putting it out there. That doesn't need to happen. That's not being a good leader. You don't have to talk down or yell at somebody to get your point across. The second thing I have, I'm all about having a park. I think that the community needs one. I think it'll give an outlet for a lot of the kids that ride bicycles and do all sorts of things down here in town that a lot of the older citizens get upset about. It'll give them a place to go. What I'm concerned with is where are we getting the funding to be able to do this and maintain it? You know, I have just read about maybe we can get some corporate sponsorships and some other community involvement, and that's all well and great. And I hope that here later on in the meeting that there's a better plan since the first iteration of the Triad Park. But I'd really like to hear and understand how we're going to afford that without our taxes going up, because to me, that's the only way that it gets built and maintained. I mean, it's one thing to just build it, get it up there, but there's got to be somebody that goes up there, cleans it, maintains the park, and everything else. I mean, you're almost going to have to hire somebody to go up there and make sure there isn't trash, condoms, you know, needles, everything else that could potentially be up there.
Yes.
So that's all I have to say.
Okay.
Sorry, I do have one other concern. I'm not sure who I need to bring it up to, but on Main Street, I can't remember the number, but it's on the far side as you're walking like towards the school. There's a home with a pumpkin patch on the sidewalk.
What?
A pumpkin patch on the sidewalk.
Yeah, I thought it was a board.
Yeah,
It didn't matter, you had to walk out in the
you have to go out on the road to go around it because there is a pumpkin patch on the sidewalk.
Well,
So how do we?
I thought you meant
My
someone
child?
put a pumpkin in a hole.
No.
Oh.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, that's weird.
They were.
But my child was riding a bike on the sidewalk where it's safe because Main Street is busy and had to get off the sidewalk to go around there and was almost hit by a car. So
Where's
like
this
that's down the street from you.
Down here at the corner.
Down at the bottom of the hill.
Wasn't it trimmed?
It's been moved off.
Has
Yeah.
been moved? Okay,
It
so
moved
that's
off the road.
okay, because the other day it was not.
I mean, off the sidewalk, not off the road.
I just, like, the people that have been, like, against the park are not against having a park. We just want it done the right way. I'd love to see a park there. And I would volunteer. I would volunteer to mow it and clean the bathrooms. That stuff doesn't scare me.
You just want to.
All right, we'll get into that when we get.
I do want to weed.
We'll get into that when we get to the park. Amber, you have anything before we move on?
Did you want me to save my letter
Save your
about
letter
the park?
for the park.
What I
okay?
learned, mine's just informational, what I was told.
Yeah, can you wait?
Sure.
Okay. The minutes were emailed to everyone. Is there any corrections?
Yeah.
Chris, go ahead.
I had mentioned in the last meeting about can we look into maybe a trust fund to help cover costs for the park from now till eternity. That wasn't in the minutes. I'd like to see that in there because I think that's a viable way we could pay for it is to start a trust fund specifically for that park that people could donate into and whatnot to help cover the costs.
Can you read to me exactly what it should say?
Should say I brought up about maybe looking into a trust fund to cover park costs, labor and maintenance and upkeep. That's all.
Anything else? I have a motion to approve it with the addition that Chris just talked about.
I make that motion.
Okay, second.
I'll do it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, the treasurer's report that was emailed. Anyone have any questions or corrections on that?
Yeah. I'm sorry, no, it's not that one, it's the bill approval I got, go ahead.
Everyone okay with the treasurer's report?
Yeah.
Motion to accept?
Yep.
Second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, the bill approval, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Sam, I already told Sam about it, she just made a additional error on the new bill approval she sent out. Under the part with rack, it says total rack is $900.03, and it should be $204.63.
Okay.
I already went over it with her.
Oh, it just added up.
Yeah, just added up wrong.
Okay. Any other questions or corrections?
Yeah, what are we paying the funeral home for?
That was for the job along Water Street up there at Connie Schaefer's old place.
We didn't pay the
Where
funeral,
the
we
bike
paid Jeff
collapsed.
Brungard for doing work next to the funeral
Oh, so
home.
that's what that is.
Yes, that's how he wrote it on the bill.
Yeah.
All right.
Jeff is going to start putting some addresses on stuff instead of on the same street as the funeral home.
Yeah. Okay. Any other concerns? Have a motion to pay the bills?
Man.
Second?
Yeah.
Dan, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, Mr. Ed.
I got nothing new. I got a couple of permits coming out this month here in a little bit, but nothing right now, so everything pretty good right now.
Okay. Okay, Bill's not here. You have anything for announcements? Nothing? Okay, old business. The emails and everything that we received about the wind development. Basically the email from
Well, you got
Alan, isn't it?
And you got one from Alan, you got one from Jennifer, you got one for NPDES.
Yeah.
And like I told you, just so the council knows, there's a lot of things that Green Township said, whoa, this needs fixed, that needs fixed, before anything's gonna move on. There is some concern because there's talk about a calf barn or a heifer barn being put within 130 some odd feet within our water well. And it's gonna be a big enough building that they're gonna have to do land development plans and everything else for water runoff. So we have some concern about that. We had already discussed that and sent Green Township a letter. They are looking at it, and Alan is looking at it with us also.
Okay. So basically the project on Wynn's land is on hold for right now.
Right now, they're working through getting out all their paperwork right and ducks in a row.
Okay, so there's nothing that we need to do on that right now.
No, Alan is working on it with me in Green Township.
Okay.
And Green Township's permit guys.
Okay, so we can just table that for now. The next thing we talked about purchasing that truck and snowplow. Sam sent us an email, I think it come from Larry, correct?
Yes.
About what we had to do was put out a bid, right? Accept 3 bids. I mean, it's tough.
It's tough to get bids when you're buying from a car lot.
The only thing we can do is if that truck's still available, get all the details on it, exactly the line items of the truck, and write it up, and that's what we want. If anyone else has something that matches that, they can bid. Because I think, I don't know if it says it in here, but after so many days, if you don't get 3 bids, you can go with whatever you get.
You want me to go down there and get all that? The one truck is gone.
The good one, the one with
The single cab truck is gone.
Okay, get the line sheet on it exactly, so
Okay.
we can advertise exactly like it, see if anyone else can come up with a truck
I'll
like
go
that.
down and see Bill tomorrow.
Okay, get the name of the plow, everything, the size of the plow. all
I'll
that.
get pictures.
Yeah,
Okay?
okay. The determination of the UPS delivery to the Florida. I talked to Omar at Kaufman's. He went back through his UPS books. The only thing he found in the last 2 or 3 books he looked at was back on 7/10, we sent a shipment to Neptune in Tallahassee, Alabama, and that was water meter stuff.
Yeah.
He's seen nothing on there, so he's asking me if you could provide a copy of the invoice so he can, it's gonna make his job easier than him sit there and go through 5,000 old invoices and try to find ours. Okay? But that's all he found in the last 2 or 3 books from UPS.
Yeah, we had one shipment we sent back that was 2 bad water meters.
Yeah, and that was in July.
Yeah.
I think this was after that. So that's ongoing, we're still working on that. Any other old business?
The fire company meter is finally here, and we're gonna work maybe on that tomorrow. That's old business, but I'm gonna bring up water anyway.
Okay. All right, anything else?
I checked on the street. You have macadam, or concrete, and you have macadam on top of it. The macadam is bad. There's holes in it. I found one hole, not long, not big, out of the whole piece of sidewalk.
Oh, you talking sidewalks or streets?
Sidewalk.
Okay, you said streets. Okay, sidewalks. Is that one that was painted?
Down there at the fire hydrant.
Was it painted when Alan Mueller's guys were over and made the white paint marks on the bad spots?
No.
Okay, so it's right down here in the main intersection.
And then you have it on the end of Earl's driveway. You have it out at the spouting at the store to close. And then you have a piece between the store and the room garden. Belleville.
Oh, Melba, okay, okay,
Bauer.
yeah. So that would all go under, if we ever get together and get this kicked off, we'll get the sidewalk.
Is it in the state part of the right of way, or is it on ours?
What do you mean?
Is it?
This one down here?
Darlene carries up to the cemetery, that whole piece of sidewalk sucks.
Yes.
Big time.
And there's one big piece missing there at Calvin's.
Well, you got all them big tree roots there that come in. It's like that, it's like an obstacle course for me to walk up it. And the one where the pumpkin was out it was out on the McAdam Road the day I did it. Also, I seen 4 vehicles that were parked going the wrong way on the sidewalk.
On the sidewalk?
On the sidewalk.
Okay. Well, our constable can't do anything about that. Can he? Yes, he can.
Yes, he
Parking,
can.
yes, he can.
Yes, he can.
Yeah. We'll have to, if we can get an address, we can get a hold of him and tell him, that way he can keep an eye on, see if it continues. 4 vehicles parked on the sidewalk. Okay, anything else under old?
Find out where it is and we can tell him.
Yeah, keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
See.
He's gonna need to see a copy of our parking ordinance, but I can let him look at my book too.
Yeah, I
You're
don't
not
know
here
if he's done anything yet. I don't know. Or
I
we're waiting on
think,
the
if I
ordinance.
remember right, in the minutes, it says he was gonna wait until we got ordinances to him before he started.
Well, then I think we need to give him
An ordinance.
existing ordinances, because it could be months until we get them
Exactly.
redone through Larry.
I can let him look through mine and maybe make copies of it. It's not complete, but it's up pretty close.
All right, that way he can at least do
Right.
some things like that. Okay, any other old business? With new business, rescheduling November meeting.
Yes. So my son was selected to participate in an Eastern Regional competition in South Carolina. And so we are going to be leaving the Wednesday directly, the first Wednesday of the week of November, and coming back the following Tuesday.
So it's supposed to be November the 2nd.
Yes.
We want to move it to November the 9th, 1 week later. Everyone all right with that? So you're gonna have to advertise that. November 9 at 7 p.m. Okay, while everyone has their calendar out, the next thing, we need to set up a budget workshop. Because we approve this by the end of the year, the first of the year.
End of the year, and then we vote on it first of the year.
Yeah. So I think we should try to get something set up here in the very near future in case we run into issues like we did last year. We had some issues, let's get it done. So what are we looking at? Somebody give me some dates.
About the 19th, 26th.
Sunday.
2nd.
No, he's open in October.
I'm looking in October. Or in November, you can get on the 2nd. They're all Thursdays.
Well, Sam's not gonna be here the 2nd. That's our normal meeting. We just changed that.
How about the 19th or 26th?
You have everything ready, correct?
Everything
You
is
emailed
ready.
it
I
to us
already
to look
emailed
at. I don't know. What's everyone else think?
Are you
Next
saying 26th of November?
No,
October.
October, either the 19th or the 26th of October.
That way we're not waiting until the last minute.
No, I will. I just wanted to get an email, that way everybody knew it was ready, and then I'll give
Right.
everybody packets.
Oh, okay.
Let's not wait till the last minute.
I'm good with either day.
How about you, Bobby? Huh?
I won't be here.
Lucky you. Danny? 19th or 26th?
Good one.
Judy?
Doesn't matter. Whichever.
Martin, you want?
It don't matter to me. They're both Thursdays.
Is either one of those days gonna conflict with any other meetings that are held here as far as sewer goes? When's theirs?
Last Tuesday.
Oh, theirs is a Tuesday?
What do you want to go with?
I'm gonna say
19th?
the 19th. That gives us a little time in case we run into hiccups.
October, and that way if something comes up between now and then, if that don't work with the 26th, we'll
Right.
go back on.
Are we
Exactly.
doing it 7 or 6, 6:30?
October the 19th at 6:30 p.m. Next thing is pick the date, time for trick or treat.
6 to 8, that's usually what we have.
Yeah, what day are we doing
Halloween.
The parade,
what day is that?
the parade for the kids,
It's a Tuesday.
the Halloween parade for the school is on Tuesday. It's on Halloween.
Okay. So we want to go with that?
I don't know, it's a school night. I mean, we're usually done early anyway. But how about you folks,
Yeah,
your
we
parents?
We trick or treated on,
I'd
school
rather do
night.
it on Halloween
Yeah,
than
me
on
too.
weekend. The downside of doing it on Halloween
How
is
about
that
you?
all the other boroughs are gonna send their kids over
How
here.
about you, James?
My daughter gets a lot of candy, so she loves it.
Amber?
I think we're done by 7 though. Most of
Good Halloween.
Yeah.
Amber, Halloween?
The day, yeah.
That's Tuesday.
Yeah.
So I think most people are done by 7:30 anyway.
Tuesday the 31st.
Bonnie?
Halloween.
I'll go trick or treat.
I'm not gonna make a motion, we do it, I'll make a motion, we do it on Halloween evening from 6 to 8.
October 31st, 6 to 8 p.m.
Yeah,
All right, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign.
you didn't get a second. Oh, okay.
We'll have to get the fire police on board for that night.
Already have them on board.
Okay. Okay. Next thing in new business, Volunteer Fire Relief Association. You see there, $2,477.83 to be donated to the fire company. This is the money that we missed out on last year.
Right.
So we're getting it this year. Did you get it?
It was deposited this month, yes.
Okay, so you can write that check whenever to the fire company, okay?
Yep.
Does anyone else have any other new business? I got a couple things here. Number one, this is stuff that needs fixed. The standpipe down between Rachel Holman's and Christine Brumgard's old house and where Strauss's was. Why don't you guys fix? Leroy's telling me that it must be repaired before winter or snow plow's gonna take it right off. I don't know why they didn't fix it when they had the hole open. He said it's sticking up.
Well, it must have moved up then.
What is the name of that street?
Oh, I know what it is, but I'll get Jeff to look at it.
Yes, Leroy said it's sticking up, the snow plow's gonna take it right off.
All right, I'll get Jeff to look at it. It may have pushed up.
Okay. Number two, this is mainly on his report.
Okay.
Sulphur Springs. The pavilion that sits there. The northeast corner of the foundation, the concrete's just fallen out of there.
On the pavilion?
On the pavilion.
Oh yeah, that's been going on for a while.
Well, is this something we want to put some money into and fix it? I mean, that thing's been there forever. I don't know if any water comes out of there anymore. Sulfur water, I don't know that. But
I don't know. I know there's people sitting there all the time, Amish buggies and all that.
Would that be something that, the historical society could help with?
Yeah,
Possibly.
yeah, if they do things like that. I don't know if they do projects or not.
Yeah, they do. I
If
know
it's, if it's been there like a super long time, can't they get it like a
That's been there
historical
since
landmark?
I was a kid.
Yeah, it's been there for a long
So not
time.
quite old enough to be in school.
I was saying my
I think what it is, it has an old stone foundation the whole way around it. Then that's the floor on it. I think probably the best thing to do would be to put a block foundation the whole way around it and concrete the new flooring. I mean, it's, I don't think we should just leave it go and ignore it because eventually it's gonna come down And I think we
Why
want
don't we get
to
like
keep it there.
Jeff to look at it, Jake to look at it?
Yeah.
See what a couple of people think.
Yeah, and then we can approach the Historical Society if that's what we want to do and see if they're interested in helping bring it up to speed.
All right, you talk to Jake, I'll talk to Jeff. How's that go?
Okay.
Is there a way that we could make it like a historical landmark?
I have no idea. I don't know how you go about that. That's probably a question for the Historical Society. They know
Yeah,
more
they would
about
have
that
to.
than us.
They would have to do that. You could talk to them.
Yeah, I'll reach out.
See what else. That's the only two things that Leroy had on there.
Isn't Helen involved in that?
In what?
Historical Society.
Yeah.
Did you ask her?
See if they even do projects.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, any other new business? Okay. I don't have anything else to report. That's the stuff I have written down here. Maintenance report we just did. Water committee report.
We're moving along. Hopefully tomorrow we're gonna put in the last billing meter for the fire company. That's the last one we're waiting on. Jim and I are getting together to put that in, and then all the meters are in.
They're not in at the up there yet, are they?
No, but those aren't billable meters.
Right, okay, all right.
And that, the guy got a hold of Alan and I, he is about done with lining that computer phone program and all that reporting out. I have some pieces here for it already. The guy has his pieces, Alan has some pieces. We're all gonna get together here shortly and toss them in and get it done.
Yeah. Sidewalk, street lights. Well, anything?
No.
How about the streets?
Jeff dug up that hole more on Erdley's side there by the sidewalk we talked about. They went down 4.5 feet. They could not find a culvert pipe there. We know there's one there, but they couldn't find it.
Did you run into that water line that comes across?
No.
But they're not down deep enough.
No. He's not sure, so he said I quit at 4.5, 5 feet. They couldn't find anything, so he just filled it back in with stone and said, we're gonna watch it.
Yeah, because I know that water line that comes across from over here.
Yeah.
By Belva's is way under the
Well, there's
road.
There's a line that comes under the store, Belva's, feeds into off her downspouts. And it comes over and Erdley's feeds into it, and then it dumps out in the field, in the ball field down there. And we're thinking that's what it is, but he couldn't find it.
All right.
So we're gonna wait and see if it sinks again.
Okay. Fire company.
We had a really good, successful gun raffle. Seafood dinner went well.
Now they're having their picnic.
Our picnic is this Saturday.
Yeah, this Saturday.
Yep. And that's really, I think, anything we have coming up here till end of November.
Is there a breakfast coming up?
I don't see one.
Yeah, it's on the calendar. It's out there.
I gotta look at it, because I don't have it on my calendar.
What is it?
The calendar out here says October 14th,
October 14th.
breakfast.
Huh.
So that's what, the following weekend?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll have to look, because I don't have it in my phone.
Okay, outdoor display and lighting committee? Nothing on that? Okay, the park. So, countdown. Oh, sure, an organized person.
Yeah. I'm a crazy person.
You want all the writing? Okay.
Do we want to read all the comments that are on them, or do we just want to tally them for now? How do you want to handle that? Oh, before we do the first, I have a question. The water and Anthony Street, we talked about putting a mirror in, and voted, we were doing what doing it. Have we had any updates on that? The mirror is here.
Mirror is here.
Okay, it just needs to be installed. Okay, thank you.
Here's one he didn't check either, well, he said they didn't check either one. Because they didn't have enough information. Okay.
Put that as undecided, Bob.
Huh?
They kind of undecided.
No. Somebody tallying these?
No, turn it off.
I can, hold on.
Wait, what?
Tally them.
I'm getting
Give a note, and then list and why list.
I got
Where's
it.
you on that?
I got it.
Okay, so you have a no. Another no.
They're in order. I'm
Oh.
a crazy person.
Another no. 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 Why didn't you just write how many there is? No.
Because I didn't count them, it's stacked.
No. Oh, that's a whole list of comments. No. No. No, no. That's one no. I said
Okay.
no, no, that's no, one. No. 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 No.
Speak up a little.
No. Huh?
Speak up a little.
No. 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 No, yes for the Dollar General. No.
Dollar General's gonna
get it. Huh?
A yes for a dollar.
No, yes for Dollar General.
Oh,
Then get it. No. No. So you count them, see if you come up with the same thing he has. So this is yes now.
I got 36.
I got one undecided here.
Okay, that makes two, right?
No, one undecided
Okay.
so far.
All right.
So there could be more in here, I don't know that.
Not 35. I got 35.
Okay, 35.
Okay, you ready? Yes. Yes. These are all yes,
They
why don't we just count them out loud? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43.
So we got more people that did that than show up and vote.
So what's the total on that? Be 78,
78?
79, you look this far.
Yeah.
How many did we send out?
79.
200 and,
So it's a third.
212, 215.
Yes, we got about a third back.
Something like that.
This is yours,
Yeah.
right? Okay, you have the count. So, does that mean now that we proceed forward, moving forward with other concerns of the park?
Let's say we get all our ducks in a row before we pull the trigger and see what we're gonna do.
I do have one comment I want to bring up. Dave was going to, but since he left, there is a Valley person who stepped up and is offering $10,000 a year for a guaranteed 5 years for upkeep of the park. It is Brian Toner, who owns Napa Auto Parts on Loganton Boulevard in Jersey Shore.
$10,000.
$10,000 a year. Yes.
My question on that is if we don't use the whole 10 grand, does it roll or do we, does
That's
it
what
only pay?
we're going to sit down, because Dave said we could set it up and all the bills go to him, he just pays them or whatever, and that's one thing I talked to Dave. I would like to sit down and talk to Brian and say, if you're giving us $10,000, we would like to start an account, because we might only use $2,000 the
That's
first
the
year.
perfect reason to
Yeah.
start a trust.
Right. And
Not just a bank account, but a trust.
right, so
fund.
you have 5 years there, you have $50,000 in there.
Exactly.
That's
We can
something
do
to
that
be
and have
determined.
that in writing and start it in a true trust fund through a company that does that. That's the ideal way to do it, so it's making interest. Anybody that wants can donate at any time, and then all bills will get paid out of that. Even when we have people mow it, they'll get paid out of that. That's the way it should be handled. That way the borough
Yeah.
doesn't own it.
Right, that way that all the bills from the park, we know exactly what it costs to run a park if we're taking everything out of one account.
Exactly.
Not like if Leroy mows
Right.
here today and up there tomorrow, say, and then it was just in his mowing, no.
Right.
It'll all be separated out.
That's the way it needs to be
Okay.
done.
Okay.
And like I say, that way, the borough books aren't involved in it. It has its own
Right.
trust fund.
Right. So, okay, I'm gonna add, Amber has some information from where, Spring Mills?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Amber, you have the floor.
So I'm just delivering information. I don't understand some of these terms. You all will. They just told me. So I can either read the letter or just tell you in plain talk.
Everybody here, I think, has a copy of it.
Okay, good. So I work at a cookie company in Spring Mills, and it just happens to be in the same building that the Gregg Township office is in. So I got there early one day, and I decided to go in and ask them about their park. So they have a nice little park there, and it's always being used. So I went in and I talked to the secretary, and she was very gracious and invited me in, and I just asked about some of the concerns that I thought go along with having a park. And the top one was really the insurance, because we would all assume that would be a big fee. And she said that their insurance, it doesn't really affect their insurance. It goes along with the municipality. So you all know what that means a little bit more than I do. I'm guessing it's the same as you insuring the ball field down there. So that was my guess. So, and then I asked about upkeep. I said, we come from a big town of volunteers, we probably get a lot of people to plant flowers or mow lawns. She said, we don't do that either, not really. She said, that also goes along with the municipality. We already have people hired to do things like that in our borough. Then we don't have to pay extra insurance, and we don't have to do these things. The people that mow our property there, mow it there. You know, they do the upkeep. She said, that's not a problem. She said the only thing that really costs them anything after the initial putting in of the park is the mulch. You have to have specialized mulch for a playground. And they have to take bids, and it costs around $2,600 every 2 years. But that's where those corporate donors came in. She said a lot of times they have people in the community that just donate money towards that, and it's covered. So she said a lot more stuff that, you know, is more in your lane here that you could talk to her about. But she was really nice. She actually was kind of surprised that I was asking the questions because it sounded like out of all the problems in their borough that they have, the park is the least of their concerns, you know. So I don't know. She gave me her number. You guys can call her and talk to her. She was very nice. And no matter, you know what, she'd be somebody to talk to.
There is one issue, we wanted to make it wheelchair accessible.
Yeah.
And it will work on mulch.
Well, I don't know. Theirs is probably as well, so I don't know. I think you have to have mulch under.
No, you don't.
Under
Zealand
it.
Sharp does not. And
Well, then you could put the
nasty stuff.
Yeah, sure.
That would cut out the cost.
They have that down at Lewisburg.
Yes.
Right. They're talking about like at the Lewisburg Park, instead of mulch, they have, I think it's recycled tires.
That's exactly what
And
it is.
Yeah,
it's
the
made
rubber.
it looks like carpet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would also be a thing. That would be, probably gonna have to replace it.
It's more expensive to put it in, but it lasts
Lasts a
way
lot longer. So, I mean, those are options, but that's what she said that they did. But I like that idea. That's a good idea.
Because we have, you know, disabled
That,
people
yeah, of course you want it to be accessible to everybody.
Yeah, because let me tell you, pushing Dave's wheelchair,
But
it's
it's hard. Sand and
to do
mulch.
it.
Right.
It's awful.
Yeah, so there's her numbers on there. I would hope somebody would call them. Just for guidance.
I appreciate you doing that, asking the questions. I got some concerns about a couple of the things on it. Number one, you can't bank on volunteers, we all know that.
No.
You can't do it. The Lions Club is begging for help.
Yeah, that's why
Doesn't
she
get
said
it.
they don't have them, they don't use them.
When she said that municipal funds are used, we put a borough employee up there, he's gonna have to be paid.
Yeah, that's what she
So
said.
they
just pay by
can't
the
say, they can't say that this park cost them nothing. Because even to buy a truckload of mulch, somebody's gotta spread it. Somebody's gonna be on the clock to do the work.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying. They're already on the clock.
Yes.
They have full-time
2,600
employees.
included.
That's right.
Yeah.
But we're still gonna pay.
Right,
That's
oh,
what I'm
absolutely. I agree with that 100%, but
The property's taken off the tax rolls, that creates a cost to the borough right off the bat. It's a loss of income. May not be much, but it is. Liability insurance can incur a cost. We don't even know what the cost to upkeep, what is proposed. I threw the number out from the Lions Club, and like I said at the last meeting, that was just a guess. We were close. The staff are not free, we all know that. Mowing maintenance is gonna be an expense. And how's it gonna work with the wetlands? Is there gonna be any remediation need done, or do we not know yet?
What do they call Clinton County Conservation? They're
Okay,
supposed to be here at the last meeting. I don't know why he never showed up.
you're talking about Wade,
No, it's not it's the,
planning committee.
planning
Okay.
commission. They wanna get involved with this.
If we can do it,
It was Matthew Croak of the the Clinton County Planning
Yes.
Commission.
I'm all for the park if we can do it right and keep everybody involved in it. so we can come up with a game plan, not just sign a contract for $30,000 and not know nothing, that's all.
Okay, but now, I think you're gonna have to get someone to come up with a plan. You're gonna have to pay someone to come up with a plan.
We're gonna have to come up with a plan.
I mean,
But a lot of this groundwork we can do ourselves and save some of the money. I mean, you had brought it up 2 meetings ago about we've never talked to Lions Club for a cost. I was able to do that with a couple of phone calls. That gave us a ballpark anyway.
right.
So I would like to, but the borough versus the Lions Club is 2 different things. Because you do, like she said, you have paid employees of the borough. The Lions Club has to rely to pay somebody separate, a whole separate entity. Like, I don't know what you pay borough employees to do town work. But say it's 20 an hour. So instead of paying them, they get 20 an hour to go up there and mow that. You know, that's a lot cheaper than having like Coleman's go over and do it.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, no, we're talking about borough employees doing it, but it's not gonna be for free.
No, that would all be, my idea, that would all be in the grant. Anything that we need to maintain this piece of land would be included in the grant that we're trying to get.
And that needs to go into a trust fund.
And for, using the rubber to make it wheelchair accessible, there's also grants for that.
There's lots of grants for.
There's a lot of
But
grants.
the groundwork, could we not decide exactly what you want in that park before you go to an engineer? Because you talked about going to the engineer or the architect to design it, have him design it, and then we approve it. But why don't we give him, this is what we want, this is the area we have? Would that not cut out some of the costs at the engineer or the architect if we said this is what we need or
Well,
want?
it'd be nice to know if people want swing sets, do they want a pavilion, do they want benches? It'd be nice to know what the public says they want. We can present it to an architect and say, this is what most people are asking. Is there anything written on any of them?
It'd actually be really cool.
Oh, there's lots of stuff written on these. I think the main thing I seen on, let's go over some of the yeses. Walking path, pavilions with picnic tables, gazebo, playground equipment. Walking path, nice pavilion, pavilions, benches, playground furniture, trees, chairs, and benches. Please, here is a note. Please apply again to the SBCC. That's sure about concerned citizens, right? After you see if you have received your grant, has supported this project for at least 2 years. My hope is that they will support it financially in the future. Walking path, playground equipment, something like Boonville, picnic tables. Lots of sidewalks for strollers, walking dog benches for the elderly, and a nice picnic area. Add sports for social area, for bingo, cards, dancing, whatever. 2 toilets, each on in a different area. Wonderful idea. Walking path for the people.
Would Gene be willing to put that property in a trust fund to get it started? Then we could see if sewer will let us tap one with them and what they're gonna charge. Because we're gonna need to know all this.
Right, but I don't think that, why would that have, if it goes into a trust fund, the key is, remember what I kept telling you guys, there wasn't anything going on because.
You wanted to use it for a bank.
Right. And I have talked to that engineer. He said, if you want to write DCNR grant, he you can do that. If you don't want to write a DCNR grant, there's a Parks Committee. I went to a seminar down at Danville and listened to them. You can write a grant through those people, but they don't give out near the money that DCNR does for parks. And, but so if you throw this land into a trust fund, it is now ours. So you get a DCNR grant for, say, $50,000. That's just we need 20% of that, which is what, $10,000. We're using the property as our match. If we don't, we need to come up with that match when you write the grant. In other words, $50,000. We're going to write a grant for, say, $400,000 to build this park. We need a $40,000 to match DCNR, or you don't get your money. We don't have that kind of money. That's why it's very important to leave that property in Gene Nicholas's name until we know we're getting a grant, and then we say, okay, here's our $40,000. This land and the work that's going to be donated. We all heard Gene in here saying that he's going to have his guys in here helping with the landscaping and, like the digging out, whatever we need to do, all that kind of stuff. So, yes, Pat?
I do have a question.
Yes.
Since you brought up the park, my question is this going to benefit all age group and children, including these kids that are riding bikes? I've heard in the past about complaints, kids on the roads with their bikes. I've heard in complaints years ago about skateboards. If we're going to put a park in, you got to put a park in that's going to benefit them children too.
Yeah,
Not just wee little ones, strollers, and walking. That's my opinion. Or don't put it in. Because you've got children of all ages here.
Yeah.
And you know yourself, Myron, we had boys. We know what the hell they were like, excuse my French. But they rode bikes, they rode skateboards, they got in trouble.
Yes.
Because of the road. So you better benefit them younger kids too. Those middle-aged kids or whatever you want to call them. Not just the wee little ones in the strollers. I know Diane in the past got kicked off sidewalks with riding toys for her kids because you weren't allowed on the damn sidewalks, which was ridiculous.
Right. And seeing Pat.
And I was the one that said you didn't give me enough information. And I will not write yes or no unless I know more.
And this is the kind of information we need. We need to have public meetings, which will involve the whole valley because it's a community park. It's not a Loganton Park.
No.
Remember, it's a community park.
And they ought to be able to ride their bicycles or ride their skateboards. And if they can't, then build them something that they can.
Right.
And we had a couple of kids out in front of our house the other day, and there's one that's got a motorbike, and he drives me berserk. That's not.
Well, that's different. I'm not talking motorbikes.
He was out in the road, like the ones with the bicycles, because there were kids on bicycles out there with them. And I don't know why they wouldn't move out of the road, but there were cars coming. The kid almost got hit, and this guy, I don't know who it is, he was coming from the underway, maybe the Nicholas employee, I don't know. But he rolled down his window and stopped his car in the middle of the road and started cussing at these kids. Because they don't have anywhere to ride but the road.
No, they don't.
So
and they were kicked off the sidewalks years ago because people complained and said they were going to hit some old people. I don't think the kids were dumb enough that they'd run over an old person.
No, but there's drivers dumb enough to run over the kids.
I'm sorry. That's
I'm
going to
exactly
stick up
what
for
we
the
need to hear
kids.
from the public. And when we start having these meetings to decide what we want to put in the park, that's what we want to hear.
Well, you need to put something in for bicycles, and you need to put them in for skateboards. I don't care if you put in a thing that they go like this with a skateboard.
Those don't take up much space
Exactly.
either, and
No.
they're nice. They're
And you better put something in for a bicycle if you have to put an area just for them to ride their bikes. Or put in like jumps and stuff for
Say,
their
we
bikes.
used to ride our
They're
bikes down.
teenagers, they need that. They have nothing here.
Say, mine used to ride their bikes down at the old school at the tennis courts until it was bought by the Amish, and then they locked them. But that was a safe space for my toddlers to ride their bikes where nobody was gonna hit them, but there's nothing here anymore.
So there, I brought up, that was one of the main reasons I came tonight.
So,
And the park better not just be for old people and little kids, or I vote no.
right.
Why don't we start this whole process off with a meeting for the public and get a list down? And then, let's get the architect involved.
You think he should be here at the meeting so
Yeah,
he can answer the questions?
yeah.
Because, I mean, he's the one that knows what the hell he's doing. He's built these. You know what I'm saying? He should be here
Looks like it.
to answer the questions from the
We
public.
need to have a public meeting right off the bat.
Oh, yeah, we need several of them.
That needs to happen first before we do anything.
So, do you want me
Sorry.
to talk to Brian? Have him come up with a proposal for us?
I would ask him to come to a meeting and listen to what people want, Pat, whatever anybody else wants. Then he can go and then we can discuss a proposal. Because he may be able to say you can't do this, you can't do that. We don't know because of the
Right.
wetlands.
Right, right.
That's gonna be the hard part.
And I think that at these meetings also, we need the conservation district involved and county planning. All these people that want to get involved and help, they
Well,
need
if they
to
wanna
be
jump
here.
in, we need to make a meeting for all of them.
Right,
And at least get a baseline started. We get a baseline started, then we know what direction we can go. Right now, we're just saying, hey, we're gonna have a park, but we don't know what we can do.
right.
We don't even know if we can with the wetlands.
Yeah, we have to get all that information from them.
That's why I said before about we gotta put the ducks in a row in the right
Yeah.
order, that's all.
But what we did have from the conservation district, they said the wetlands are actually a benefit
Yes,
to us.
for a walking path and
For
that,
this
yeah.
park, yes, because there's more money, when you start talking about wetlands, there's more money to be given out to develop around wetlands.
Right,
Paths over whatever, they identify what grows there, the signs, from history, it's information things.
And I do have another question.
Yeah.
Are our taxes gonna go up? Because you do have a lot of people that are single in this town.
I do not think this process, this part, should make the taxes go up. Did anyone else in here see it? I don't think so.
This process, no, but once it's in place, it might make our property values go up, which in turn will make our
I don't
taxes
think it will.
themselves.
I don't think it should make the property go up. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know why it would.
We're
I know
we're
when
taking
purchasing
a
a
property
home,
off the tax rolls.
Homes that are closer to parks usually cost more than homes that are not the exact same home. Just something to think about. Parks do make your home more appealing.
Because you do have a lot, I will admit that, you do have a lot of elderly people that live here, and they can't afford, the way the world is today, they can't afford living.
Right.
And a lot of single people.
Well, that's kind of why I really want to pursue a trust fund. If we have a trust fund and people are donating to it, and it's also making its own revenue, then there's no reason for that to attack a tax base. We shouldn't have to raise taxes because we're having to pay up more out for it and all that. The trust fund can self-generate itself. And I think that's something we should look at.
Yeah,
What?
the only thing I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna sit here and guarantee you that your taxes aren't going up.
Oh, I know that.
Okay, what I'm saying is I don't see that this project, if we get a half-decent grant, and we have the 10,000 coming in a year, and I'm sure we're gonna have other money dumped on it, that the park itself would be the reason for your taxes to go up.
Can
I
I
don't
ask-
see that.
Can I ask Michelle what you know about this? Because I know you dabble in all that stuff.
In terms of,
Like trust funds and that.
well, I think your idea that you spouted is perfect. And you want something that's going to revenue or generate revenue, rather than be taxing upon your very own borough that you're trying to provide something of enjoyment for. So a trust fund is a perfect investment opportunity. It protects the money. It's there just for that sole purpose. Yeah, it's a great idea.
I think we ought to look into that.
What were you gonna say, Dave?
Dave,
The only thing I was gonna say, and I don't wanna start a fight, but if you're gonna have I think this what people are getting to, the transparency. This guy that wants to donate 10 grand, he should come to a meeting so the other board members know what his expectations are and what your board members' expectations are. When it's just one individual doing it, things get all screwed up.
and he
That's just
yeah,
a suggestion.
he is going to come to a meeting. What Dave told me, he just reached out the other day and talked to Dave, and he was going to report on it tonight. He is going to come to a meeting. He's going to write an agreement with council that he's agreeing to do this for 5 years, at least 5 years. So everyone will be involved and know what's going on. We just need to decide when we can do a meeting.
I would say this, we're gonna do a meeting, we should pick a Saturday when people are home. The events are starting to slow down a little bit, trying to get people in here for a meeting that big on a weeknight would be tough.
I don't think so.
You don't
Yeah,
think?
I don't either.
No,
I think
you're
Saturdays
gonna
are
have more
busy
trouble
for
getting
them.
somebody to come
Well,
on a Saturday.
that's fine, we can do whatever, but
And then I have a question. I suggested that you contact the borough over there. Are you going to reach out to other boroughs and parks? I mean about their parks, boroughs and towns, to see what they're doing, especially that one, since they're doing it for next to nothing.
Yeah, the other one, I mean, we have talked to
we need to talk.
Flemington
Yeah.
at an association meeting, and they have received 2 DCNR grants to redo their park 2 different times in Flemington.
It would be neat to hear what they all have to say. I would even think that they would promote the people I saw.
Yeah, we just need to be thinking, who all we want to invite to this
Right.
first meeting, and come up with a date and just set a meeting.
I think we need to talk to the people that pay the taxes first. See what they want, so that we can tell the engineer, this is what they're asking for. So a public meeting with Valley people and the engineer, and to get started.
I think the environmental, what's his name?
Well, we could get Wade to come over.
He should be here. All them people that's going to be involved, and the Clinton County Planning Commission, if they want to be involved, they should be involved from day one at the meeting.
I agree, so.
So when they, you know,
set a
if
meeting
she has a question, we don't have a clue how to answer it. One of them people might have a clue how to answer her.
That's why we need to set up a meeting.
Yeah.
Probably gonna need to do it up there.
There at the charter
suggestion.
school.
Yep.
Yes.
If you get Dawn Jeffries involved at your Granville meeting, she might be looking at a good outreach to the community
Right.
to do a meeting. And I would suggest doing it at the charter school where there's room. Or
Dawn would
with
be a
Krista.
good one
But
to
Dawn
put
would be a
together.
good person to get in your corner to get the community aware that this meeting is even occurring. She's got the outreach, she's got the people that would be willing to do it.
Okay, so we need to put our heads together, come up with a list of people that we need to get
Right.
involved. I'm not talking about the public, we know that. The whole valley, the public, but everyone on the backside
Right.
for this first meeting. And then we'll move forward. We know it's not gonna happen. The meeting will happen, I think, this year, but no park's happening this year. It's gonna be a next year's project if it goes. There's no way it's gonna happen that
Yeah,
year.
because we got priorities ahead of that right now. We gotta get a snowplow, we got other stuff we gotta do first.
Yeah. So, okay, then another thing, I brought it up last month, and we said we were gonna wait till we did the count, so now that we know we're going to move forward, I want you to think who wants to sit on the committee. Next month, we will be appointing a committee. We cannot have full council on the committee because we'd have to advertise every time we want to do something.
Does it have to be council only, or could you have
Count,
council members?
this is going to be council committee, park committee. Later, yes, if the public wants to make one and then meet with, you know what I'm saying? That's gonna be totally up to the public. If you guys want to come up with a crew that says, hey, we'd like to meet with you, you know what I'm saying? So think about it till next month. And think about who all we need to invite, all that kind of stuff, and we'll go from there.
If you set up a committee and then the votes from the public for the elections change, will you then have to reevaluate the committee? Is there not voting in November, which would change your committee potentially in January?
There,
Yes.
but, how's that go? President appoints all committees,
Okay.
okay? So whoever's president can just say, the park committee, we're gonna meet the park committee. It's usually what we do anyhow, like the water committees.
I was just wondering if someone of your members of the park committee is no longer a member of the council.
Not elected.
Right, yeah, and well, then we could fill,
Okay.
yes. Okay? What else is on there?
What's the research of a community member email?
I think that was Amber's. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Amber.
okay.
Okay.
Website updates?
Nothing on websites. Any other discussion?
Motion to
Motion to,
I have a question, going back to the sidewalks.
yes.
So you work for the state, maybe you can help us with that. Where Howard Welshans and I live,
Yes.
so Howard told me this, I don't know much about this stuff, but we have a lot of water that runs down onto both of our sidewalks really deep. And no matter what we can do, you'll see me on a rainy day out there with brooms, you know. The water doesn't go into that, what do you call it? I call it a culvert. or whatever is
catch
there.
basin,
It
yeah.
doesn't go in there, it runs on our sidewalks. And he said it's because the state keeps building up the road there, not grading it down. We've called over the years, we've never had anybody come and check it, but if the sidewalks are gonna be fixed, that road is gonna have to be fixed, or the culvert or something, I don't know.
Well, you saw what I did with my sidewalk, right?
Yeah,
How I slanted it one
Yeah,
way to
Rachel's
push the
said
water
that.
out.
Yeah.
There's gonna have to be stuff like that done and maybe a curb along the
Yeah.
side of on
Yeah.
your side by the house.
he said it's up so much higher there, you know, they
Yeah,
never
well, it
took it
is.
down at
I
all.
don't think we need a curb like you did in front of the bank, but just something small.
Right.
To help keep the water off the sidewalk.
And
before
still
they get
allow
in it.
parking there. will be
Yeah,
the-
yes.
But
That's
I
all,
don't know if anybody.
that's all it's gonna have to be looked at during the sidewalk project, and each area is going to be different.
Yeah, I just thought I'd bring it up because I didn't know if anybody knew that that's
We
what
also
happens
have
there.
water issues where there is no
Oh, yeah.
sidewalks.
Oh, I know.
That costs us
I
lots
know
of
that-
money.
I
I
know.
know that Dave and
And they-
Ellen and PennDOT and Alan and them were all walking around the other day.
Oh, is that
Talking.
what
Are they going all the way out to the cemetery then? Because there's a stretch where you can see that he put a little bit of white, and then there's a whole section where it's nothing but grass. So I don't know if there's actually concrete under dirt that's there, because like, I had some concrete that got covered by dirt and grass just grew over. Does anybody know if there's actually a sidewalk there anymore between the
Where?
last house on
Oh,
Main
and
Street
then-
and the cemetery?
The sidewalk used to go out to the
There's a bench still
walnut
there.
tree. Is the bench still there?
The bench
Yeah,
is
the
still
bench
there.
is there.
That
And the
sidewalk
sidewalk
went
is still
out
there.
to
There's
there.
just a chunk missing. It's covered in grass. I don't know if it's actually was pulled out or if the sidewalk is still there. Has anybody checked? And will the sidewalk committee be working on that section too? It's still technically part of Loganton Borough on Main Street.
Are we just gonna start at one end of town and do the whole way to the other end on one side, then turn around the next year and come back?
We don't know that yet. That's
Okay.
why he marked the sidewalks, and he's gonna come up with, like he told us here one meeting, the more continuous feet that you do on a sidewalk is where you get your biggest bang for your buck.
Right.
If you're doing 20 feet here and then you're gonna go down here and do 50
Exactly,
here,
you're gonna-
that's gonna be a lot more money, and that's
Exactly.
what they were supposed to look at.
He also mentioned just shaving some of the corners to make them within compliance. Are we gonna be able to do that on some of them? Because some of them is just slightly off.
I do
You
know,
just shave it.
one of the things that happened today with that wall is that we must put the mats, the dotted, what I want to
At the
call
intersection
the
for the
dotted
blind
mats
people.
on any intersection of any street.
Yeah.
No matter if it's a borough street or a state street.
Right.
You do not need them at public driveways, but you do need them there. And what I was told, according to that PennDOT guy, they are not the kind of money that Alan Mueller tells us.
I was told by the guys that put the one in at the bank there, that they're fairly cheap.
Yeah. It's just, I looked at them in Lock Haven
Bowman's
today.
put them in over here.
They're just a rubber mat,
Yeah, with
and they
bumps
have
on
like 9 screws. I don't know what it screws into underneath. It's probably so you can replace that mat when it gets worn out.
Exactly.
Yeah. So.
We have a couple of them.
That's just something we're gonna have to get into when we.
There's one right down there at the corner.
Yeah. Yeah, when they did that. And I guess one of the other things we talked about was where them sidewalks are, I'll use the example, down where you get down to Scenic Ridge, down the road. If we're coming down and replacing that sidewalk, if we go within 10 feet of that intersection, we must do it all to fix that.
Right.
So you would have to stay back more, because that's something we
Yeah.
discussed, stay back and not do the intersections. You have to
Yeah.
stay back more than 10 feet.
Yep.
So,
I
that's
do
all
that.
something that'll be worked out when we get into the sidewalk. That's another thing, that'll be next year. It's not gonna happen anymore this winter.
Nope.
So, we'll get into all that, and decide where we're going, what we're doing, and all that kind of stuff. Okay?
Motion to adjourn.
So move.
Who's second?
I need a second on an adjournment.